Hey Astra Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we will be talking about what it looks like to have your moon sign in Gemini in Vedic astrology. And as I have mentioned in the previous videos within this series, we are not going to focus on the moon in the nakshatras as much. We will briefly cover it, but there will be separate videos on the moon through the nakshatras in future videos. In this video, we were going to focus specifically on what the moon is representing and how it looks when it comes into the zodiac sign itself. This has been a huge requested video for many of you, as when we did those polls, most of you have been asking about the moon signs. So huge request that we're getting into here in this video. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we get into what this position of the moon in Gemini is all about, we have to understand what is the moon sign in Vedic astrology. And the moon is representing the mind. So the moon is originally connected to the sign of Cancer, which is our natural fourth house of the zodiac. And so that fourth house is all about our comfort, our security, our pleasure, our nourishment. And so this is hugely connected to the moon sign. The moon is where we are getting nourishment and security from within our lives, both emotional security and material security as well. Along with that, the moon is our psyche. So it is all about our intuition, our psychic abilities, our imagination, our subconscious. The moon is connected to our way of thinking and feeling. And similarly to how a mental patient or a child or an animal can behave differently during different phases of the moon is directly affecting our behaviors and our patterns in life. And this is why the moon is incredible in terms of understanding an individual in their life. The moon is all about those changes and cycles that we are going through, which is affecting our behavior directly. The moon is also representing our mother, our nourishment, where we are getting our emotional fulfillment from in life as well. And the moon is incredibly important because of this changing and fluctuating factor, where the sun is representing your personality based on a 30-day period. The moon is changing every 2 to 3 days, which is giving an even closer window of time to observe how a person can behave and how their personality traits will be. So we also have to understand that the moon has different relationships with other planets. And in particular, it's important to understand that the moon has no enemies. And so the moon is actually friends with Mercury and the sun and is neutral to our other planets. And so the moon is not having an enemy, which is showing us how each of us are functioning and behaving. Now, how does the moon function in Gemini? Well, it functions very well because Mercury and the moon are friends, at least from the moon's perspective. And so we see how this position of the moon in Gemini is behaving incredibly well in terms of the intellect, in terms of the imagination, the creativity, the ability to pull from the mind, as Gemini is all about different ideas, right? This is why Gemini is the sign of the entrepreneur. Gemini ruling that third house originally, which is all about communication, doing business dealings, coming up with different ideas. This is very strong here within the sign of Gemini. And so naturally, someone who has their moon sign in Gemini is incredible at communication, incredible at connecting with others, at sharing their thoughts, their feelings. This is someone who is very adaptable and flexible. And there can be a lot of mood swings in there as well, as Gemini is a very changeable sign, and the moon is constantly changing and adapting as well. So we get this flexibility and this ability to adapt and adjust very easily on the mental plane. This position can also give a very flirtatious nature, a very flighty nature. Here we can see a lot of charm, a lot of great communication skills, someone who is very much relationship oriented, very diplomatic, very good with words and understanding the needs of others. So we see this receptiveness that is happening here in this position as well. Along with that, we can see a very sexual nature and a very curious nature. These are people who like to experiment, who like to try out different things in life. Remembering that Gemini is that original house of the siblings. And so there is a childlike nature there of being very curious and wanting to explore various different options in life. And so this will be an individual who is especially geared towards learning and gaining more information in life. Along with that, we can see that when the moon is coming into the sign of Gemini, this is giving incredible courage and determination in life as well. The mental strength and capability that is here with the moon in Gemini is incredible as we are combining these energies of the moon and Mercury together. Here we can see the combination of having incredible intuition and receptiveness along with incredible logic and communication skills. And so here there is a great balance between the right and left brain functioning here within this position, which is also coming from this dynamic of this being the sign of Gemini, the twins, where we are combining two different sides of the same coin together here. There's this twin element here with the moon in Gemini. And so this is a person who is good at receiving as well as putting that energy out in exchange as well, which is making this an individual who's very good in terms of, once again, communication, business, anything along the lines of doing dealings and exchanges here is very strong with the moon in Gemini. Very good in terms of the charm, in terms of the diplomacy, in terms of the communication skills, the logical skills, the mental agility to take on multiple different tasks and to understand things from different and various perspectives. This is someone who can play devil's advocate, someone who can see a situation from multiple different sides, someone who can easily change their mind and adapt their opinions to various different situations. This is someone who can even think about multiple different things all at once, or once again, being able to take on multiple different tasks that require that mental agility and that ability to understand things logically. So there is incredible intelligence and mental acumen here within this position. So we also have to understand that there are 3 nakshatras that are falling within the sign of Gemini. And in the previous video, we already discussed the first nakshatra as it begins in the sign of Taurus and ends here in Gemini. And that is the nakshatra of Mrigashira. And so those who are born with their moon sign in Mrigashira have incredible mental activity going on within their heads. These are people who are always thinking, who always have something going on in their head. Even when they are in a state of rest and relaxation, these are people who have a tendency to keep thinking, to have this restless thinking and this active mind that is constantly going. These are people who are incredibly curious, constantly searching for something new. Those who are born within the second nakshatra that is falling within the sign of Gemini are born under Ardra. Ardra is a nakshatra that is very emotional, very sensitive. These are people who are constantly in a state of emotional changes and difficulties, where there is a lot of mood swings and depression that can fall within this nakshatra. This also gives incredible creative talents and skills as well. And here there is a great ability to use the mind to come up with very great ideas and to use it in a very experimental and scientific way. Those who are born under the last nakshatra that it falls here within the sign of Gemini are born under Punarvasu, which is a nakshatra which is giving a very philosophical nature. These are people who are very inquisitive, who love to learn about science, philosophy, research. There is an interest towards higher knowledge and wisdom. These are people who also tend to be very good-natured, who are very much kind-hearted people, and who are always giving a lot of themselves to others. These are people who are all about living a good and simple life. There is also a luck factor with this nakshatra as well, where those who are born under this moon in Punarvasu are those who are able to constantly keep trying over and over again, and each time that they try something on repeat, it gets even better. And there is this constant lesson of these repeating and reoccurring patterns that have to be worked through. So we will discuss more about that in a future video. So this has been my interpretation of what it looks like to have your moon sign in Gemini. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. If you have any additional questions that you'd like to add, anything that you'd like me to cover in a future video regarding Vedic astrology, leave it down below and I will get back to you. I want to thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.